For billions of years, every civilization feared the same thing. The end, the day the last star dies, the day the universe grows cold. The Galactic Council spent centuries preparing evacuation plans. Humanity did something else. We built a vault. Not on a moon, not inside a planet. Inside a black hole. The galaxy called us insane. They laughed when they saw thousands of Terran ships disappear into Sagittarius A*. They assumed we had committed mass suicide. Then, 10 billion years later, the last star finally died, and in the darkness, a door opened. Inside were the seeds of every forest, the DNA of every animal, the memories of an entire species. And waiting at the center of the vault was a message. Dear Universe, Round 2? By the year 2471, the universe had received terrible news. Entropy was winning. Stars were dying faster than new ones could form. Entire galaxies had begun to dim. The Galactic Council gathered for an emergency session. Their conclusion was unanimous. We must leave. Plans were drafted immediately. Massive arc fleets would carry civilization toward younger galaxies. Every species agreed. Every species. Except humanity. Representative Sarah Chun stood before the council. We will not run? The chamber erupted into confusion. Then where will you go? Sarah smiled. Nowhere. We intend to stay. One council member nearly laughed. You cannot survive the death of the universe. Sarah activated a hologram. At its center, Sagittarius A*. The supermassive black hole at the heart of the Milky Way. The room fell silent. No, Sarah nodded. Yes, for 20 years, humanity built in secret. Thousands of ships disappeared into the black hole's accretion disk. Alien civilizations assumed the worst. Then leaked construction footage appeared, a megastructure, a vault. A sanctuary, built where no life should exist. When asked why, humanity gave a single answer. Because if the universe is ending, someone should remember how it began across the galaxy. For the first time in history, people stopped asking whether humans were intelligent and began asking a far more important question. How do you invade a fortress inside a black hole? The Galactic Council spent decades trying to understand the impossible. Why a black hole? Humanity's answer was deceptively simple, because time moves differently there. Near Sagittarius *, time itself bent. For every year experienced inside the vault, thousands passed outside. Humanity hadn't built a bunker. They had built a loophole. Chief Scientist Dr. Elena Voss addressed the council. The universe has a lifespan, but gravity doesn't care. She pointed toward a simulation. As stars died across the cosmos, the seed vault remained, protected by the greatest force in existence, gravity itself. The Arc Singularity project became humanity's largest undertaking. Every seed, every animal genome. Every language, every song ever written. Everything humanity had ever loved was stored inside the vault. One alien ambassador looked horrified. You're preserving your entire civilization? Dr. Voss smiled. No, we're preserving everyone's. The room fell silent. Deep inside the vault, entire forests existed in temporal stasis. Oceans remained perfectly still. Libraries stretched for thousands of kilometers. And at the very center, a simple steel plaque. It read, in case of universal failure, break glass. The Galactic Council didn't laugh. They couldn't. Because somehow, humanity had once again turned an impossible problem into an engineering project. And as the stars slowly began to fade, a disturbing realization spread throughout the galaxy. If humanity was planning for the death of the universe, then perhaps they had already started planning for what came next. 10 billion years passed, then 20. Then 50. Civilizations came and went. Galaxies faded into darkness, and still, the vault waited. The Galactic Council no longer existed. Neither did the empires that once mocked humanity. Only a handful of ancient species remained. They called themselves the Last Witnesses. Together, they gathered to observe the event every civilization had feared since the dawn of time: the death of the final star. Silence spread across existence. The universe, once filled with light and life, had become a cold ocean of darkness. Then, the last star died. No explosion. No great finale. It simply went out. And for the first time since the birth of the cosmos, the universe became completely dark. One of the last witnesses quietly whispered, "Is this truly the end?" No one answered, because there was nothing left to say. Then something moved. Deep within the center of the Milky Way's ancient corpse, a light appeared, small at first, then brighter. Then impossibly bright. The black hole seed vault had awakened. Ancient systems older than galaxies slowly powered on. A message was broadcast across the silent universe. Every surviving species heard it. "Good morning. This is the Arc Singularity Preservation System. Current status: universe deceased. Initiating restoration protocol." The last witnesses stared in disbelief. One ancient being began to laugh, not because it was funny, but because after 50 billion years, humanity had actually done it. They had prepared for the end. And somewhere, deep inside the vault, a door began to open. The doors opened slowly. For the first time in 50 billion years, the black hole seed vault welcomed visitors. The last witnesses stepped inside. And immediately forgot how to speak. They had expected a bunker, a storage facility, perhaps rows of frozen containers. Instead, they found a world. Artificial suns illuminated endless forests. Rivers flowed beneath crystal bridges. Birds that had gone extinct billions of years ago still sang in the trees, and stretching beyond the horizon was a library. The library of humanity. Every book, every poem, every scientific discovery, every piece of music ever composed, preserved. Waiting. One of the witnesses picked up an ancient book. Its title read, "The Little Prince." Another found a recording labeled, "Beethoven, Symphony No. 9. A third quietly sat beside a preserved ocean and watched waves crash against the shore. For the first time in billions of years, the universe remembered what life sounded like. At the center of the library stood a statue, not of a king, not of a soldier, but of a child holding a flower. Beneath it, an inscription. If you are reading this, then we were not fast enough to save our universe, but perhaps we can help you build the next one. Silence filled the chamber. One of the last witnesses began to cry, because they finally understood. Humanity had never built the vault to survive. They built it so no one would ever have to start over alone. And deep beneath the library, ancient machines were beginning to awaken, preparing for creation protocol. Beneath the library, there was another door. Unlike the others, this one carried a warning: authorized personnel only. Project, Second Dawn. The last witnesses hesitated. Then the door opened. Inside, they found a chamber larger than planets. Ancient machines surrounded a holographic model of the universe itself. Galaxies spun silently above their heads. At the center stood a single terminal. Its display activated automatically. "Welcome, survivors. If you are seeing this, the first universe has ended," a human voice continued. "Hello, we're sorry we couldn't save it." The room fell silent. The recording belonged to Dr. Elena Voss. Though 50 billion years had passed, her message remained. Humanity spent thousands of years asking a single question. If the universe can begin once, why can't it begin again? The hologram changed. The witnesses watched in amazement as stars ignited across empty space. Project Second Dawn. Status: ready. One alien slowly whispered, "You're telling me?" "Humans built a backup universe," the AI immediately responded. "Correction. Humanity built instructions." Millions of pages appeared. Blueprints, equations, maps of space-time itself. At the top of the first page, A handwritten note. Step 1. Try not to create black holes inside other black holes. Trust us on this one. For the first time in the history of existence, the survivors of a dead universe realized humanity hadn't preserved life, they had preserved hope. And somewhere deep within the vault, the creation engine began counting down. Universe initialization in 72 hours. The countdown had begun. 72 hours. That was all that remained before the creation engine activated. No one spoke. No one moved. The last witnesses stood before the largest machine ever constructed. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't a ship. It was a beginning. The creation engine stretched beyond the horizon. Entire stars had been dismantled to build it. Black holes powered its core. At its center, a tiny point of light floated in absolute darkness. The Vault AI explained, "This is a contained singularity. The same conditions believed to exist at the birth of the first universe." One witness stared in disbelief. "You're telling us humans built a Big Bang?" The AI paused. "A small one." Massive holograms appeared. They showed the engine's purpose. Phase 1, generate spacetime. Phase 2, stabilize physical constants. Phase 3, ignite first-generation stars. Phase 4, introduce life. The witnesses couldn't comprehend what they were seeing. Humanity had not merely prepared for extinction, they had prepared for creation. Then, the AI displayed one final message left behind by Dr. Elena Voss. If you're wondering whether this is dangerous, the answer is yes, extremely. We accidentally created 3 pocket universes during testing. The witnesses stood frozen. 3? Don't worry. We found 2 of them. Silence. Absolute silence. Even after 50 billion years, humanity remained unbelievably human. Then the lights inside the chamber dimmed. The creation engine powered to maximum output, and a new message appeared across the stars. Universe initialization in 48 hours. For the first time since the death of the cosmos, existence itself had something to look forward to. 24 hours remained. The creation engine continued its countdown. And yet, one chamber inside the vault remained unopened. Its entrance bore a simple inscription. For the next universe, the last witnesses entered quietly. Inside, they found no machines. No equations. No instructions. Only a single holographic recording. It activated the moment they arrived. A human woman appeared, older now. Tired. But smiling. Dr. Elena Voss, if you're watching this, then humanity is gone. The room became silent. We always knew this day would come. Nothing lasts forever, not stars, not galaxies, not even us. She looked directly at the camera. But that's okay. Behind her, images of Earth appeared, children laughing, rain falling on ancient forests, families sitting together beneath sunsets long since forgotten. We were never trying to become immortal. We were trying to make sure that life would always have another chance. The witnesses watched in silence. Many of them had lived for billions of years. Yet somehow, this simple message affected them more than the death of the universe itself. Dr. Voss smiled one final time. "If you're building a new universe, we only have one request." The stars behind her slowly brightened. "Make it kinder than ours. And if you ever create humanity again," she laughed softly, "maybe make us a little less curious." The room filled with quiet laughter. Then her expression became serious, but not too much less. The recording began to fade. Her final words echoed throughout the vault. "The universe was beautiful. Thank you for letting us be part of it," the message ended. And for the first time since the stars had died, the last witnesses understood. Humanity's greatest achievement had never been surviving the end. It had been teaching existence itself how to begin again. The countdown reached 0. For one final moment. There was only darkness. No stars. No galaxies. No time. Only silence. Then, the creation engine activated. The singularity at its center expanded. Not violently, not chaotically, but beautifully. Space unfolded like a flower. Time began to move once more. The last witnesses watched in awe as the impossible happened. A new universe was born. Stars ignited across the void. Galaxies spiraled into existence. Nebulae painted the darkness with colors unseen in the first cosmos. For the first time in 50 billion years, there was light, one of the witnesses quietly whispered. "We're witnessing a second Big Bang," the Vault AI gently corrected him. "No. You are witnessing humanity keeping a promise." Millennia passed in moments, worlds formed, oceans appeared. Life began its long journey once again, and then, on a small blue planet orbiting an ordinary yellow star, something extraordinary happened. A child looked up at the night sky for the very first time, and asked the oldest question in existence. "What's out there?" The last witnesses smiled. Because somehow, against all odds, humanity had returned. Deep within the ruins of the black hole seed vault, one final message activated. It had been waiting for this moment for over 50 billion years. "Dear universe, welcome back." And beneath those words, a final handwritten note appeared. "P.S. If humanity shows up again, please don't let us build inside another black hole." "We absolutely will if given the opportunity." The last witnesses laughed. The stars shined. And the universe began again.